Prince William was out and about in Victoria today on the final leg of his brief visit to Australia. He dropped into bushfire-affected communities around Whittlesea this morning and then travelled to Melbourne, where he's attending an Australia Day reception. Our reporter Michael Rowland has followed the Prince's progress all day and joins us now from Government House. Michael, what sort of a reception have Victorians given him?
Well, Ian, in a word, rapturous. From the moment he arrived at Whittlesea this morning to meet bushfire survivors to when he arrived here at Government House a short time ago, hundreds of Victorians have turned up to almost mob the man who could one day be their next head of state. Victoria is the last stop on Prince William's whirlwind visit to Australia, but interest in the future king is far from waning. An unscheduled walkabout at Whittlesea, north of Melbourne, created a frenzy of excitement.
I give all this.
Thank you! The Prince was in town to learn about the bushfire recovery effort. This part of the state was the hardest hit by the Black Saturday fires. More than 100 people died and thousands of homes were destroyed.
So this is the area that was all burnt.
Driving through the recovery zone, the Prince saw for himself just how widespread the inferno was. The Black Saturday fires have had a particularly touching effect on the Prince. He's followed the recovery effort from afar and has been very keen to hear firsthand from those affected as to how they're rebuilding their lives. People like Richard and Diane Fox, who lost their home and are now living in a cabin as they rebuild.
It is an honour. I mean, it's not every day that royalty comes to walk on your wonderful block of land.
And it's not every day royalty gets behind a barbecue, but that's exactly what the Prince did at a community gathering in nearby Flowerdale.
He just had some lettuce and tomato and, you know, all the normal Australian barbecue things, and yeah, he was a nice fellow.
After lunch, the Prince was the star player at a local cricket match, displaying his prowess with both bat and ball. The professionals were impressed.
It was a little challenging, I must admit. Yeah, it came down a bit more pace than I thought.
The adulation wasn't over for the young Prince. Hundreds of well-wishers greeted him as he arrived at Melbourne's Government House. Inside, the Prince spoke at an Australia Day reception.
Being in Australia is the realisation of a dream. As far back as I can remember, I have heard from my family about the wonders of Australia and the hospitality and friendship of the Australian people.
Official duties over, Prince William heads back to Britain, his charm offensive deemed an unqualified success. Michael Rowland, ABC News, Melbourne.